Hi everyone, this is Heather Smith with Storyville Photography, and today I'm going to show you how to achieve this edit. This is where we are going to end up, and this is where we are going to start. So before and after. Now the only thing I did here was adjust the white balance to warm the image up a little bit in Lightroom, and I straightened it. And now I'm going to take it into Photoshop. Okay, now that I'm in Photoshop, the first thing I want to do is make a copy of the background layer. So I select it and I hit Command J. And then I want to fix her hair a little. So to do that, I'm going to go to Filter and go to the Liquify filter. And then I'm going to select the Forward Warp tool. And I'm going to zoom in a little. And I just kind of want to even out her bun here. I'm going to poof it out a little. Hold this up just a smidge, hold that down, and just kind of mold it and have fun with it till my eye likes it. And then, as you guys can see, the sun like reflected right on her hairline, and it looks really goofy because it looks like she has super long forehead hair growing out, and I just don't love the look. It's really, really weird. So to do that, I'm going to take the Forward Warp tool and just kind of pull down, and it's going to look really weird, guys. But I promise that it's worth it and it will look good when I'm done, because it will get rid of that weird sun glare there. Now I'm doing this rather quickly. It's not going to probably look as good as my final edit did, but if you're doing this for a client, I suggest you take more time and really like zoom in and mold it good, if that's even a thing there. And that looks okay to me, so I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to take a layer mask on the layer that I use the Liquify on. Use the soft black brush at 100% opacity and 100% flow. And I'm just going to kind of take away the weirdness there and make it look like her hair just blends really well and there's no funky sun reflection like cutting it off. Like I said, I would spend a little bit more time on this if I were you, but I don't want to bore you guys getting really into details there. So that is the before and after with the Liquify. There's still like a little bit of weirdness going on here, but like I said, I'm not going to spend any more time on that. So I'm going to go to Layer and Flatten Image, and then I want to come over to my Actions panel and I want to run the Frequency Separation, and I'm going to hit play. And I have a tutorial that goes over this action, guys, so I'm not going to spend too much time explaining what it does, but I'm going to try and remove just a little bit of the hair. I do like to keep some in the face. Like, I'm not going to spend much time trying to get it away from her eyes or anything, but I want to just kind of get some of these thicker pieces out. And so to do that, I'm going to click on the High Frequency Texture, and I'm going to hit the Clone Stamp. And then, oh, there we go, zooming in a little. I'm just going to sample her skin from down here, and I'm going to try and take care of that. And you can just keep resampling until you see what you like. And again, I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I'm doing it very quick, but this is an easy way to remove hair, in my opinion. I'm not going to spend any more time on that, but if you're doing it for a client, then invest all the time you want taking care of that. Now I'm going to go into the low frequency, and I'm going to hit this, the lasso tool, and as you can see, my little sweetheart has some dark circles going. She always has them, not because she's tired, it's just part of the genetics. And I'm going to go ahead and select that, and then you can go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and you can set the radius for however high you want to make it blend better. So I'm going to leave it at about 16. I'm going to deselect it and go over here. And same thing, I have a shortcut, so I click on that. And I think that's all I really need for the frequency separation. Let me show you the before and after there. Very subtle, but it makes a huge difference. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten that. And the next thing I want to do is run the Painterly. So I'm going to click on the Painterly, make sure my background is selected, and hit play. Okay. Now, as you can see, this action is so fun. It just makes everything so dreamy and smooth, and I just love it. But it really messes up the eyes and other features. So I like to make sure the Painterly base is selected, soft black brush, 100% opacity, and I'm just going to mask that off of her and her necklace. And then I always go to the fingers. Anything that looks just weird, just go ahead and get rid of it. And I want to bring the sparkle back in her shoes. You could leave it because it really doesn't look bad on the shoes, but I'm going to go ahead and take that right off. And then I want to go ahead and use the color dazzle. So I'm going to turn that on, and I want to just go down to 0, and I like to kind of just go up until my eye likes it. And I think around like 21% looks good. And then I'm trying to figure out what I did next. Okay, I think that's it with the Painterly. So this is the before and after, and that looks good to me. I am going to flatten this. Yeah, guys, I'm so tongue-tied today. I don't know what's going on. Layer, flatten image, hit OK, and then I want to make another copy of the background layer, Command J, and I'm going to go up to Filter and Camera Raw Filter. Move this over so you guys can see it, and I'm going to go into my actions, or presets, I should say. They're presets, guys. And I'm going to go into the Simplicity 3. That looks good to me. And hit OK. And then, as you can see, Savannah's eyes still have some dark circles kicking. So I'm going to make a copy of this layer, Command J, and I'm going to go back in, Camera Raw Filter. But this time, I'm going to kind of zoom in, and I'm only going to pay attention to like her face. Let me grab this guy so I can get to her face. Oops, not that guy, this guy. Okay. And I'm just going to increase the luminance on the reds and the orange, and that looks good to me. Maybe down just a smidge. Okay, and that looks good. I only want this effect on like her dark circles, so I'm going to hit the mask, and I'm going to invert it and make it a black mask by hitting Command I. Soft white brush at 100% opacity, and I'm just going to kind of paint over that, and it helps brighten them up. Before and after. Now going back over to my actions panel, I want to brighten her eyes up a little bit, so I'm going to go to the Retouch, Brighten Skin and Eyes, and hit play. And then I'm going to open this up, and I want to brighten her eyes. Because it is a black layer mask, you're going to want to paint on with a soft white brush at 100% opacity. Whenever it is a black one, you want to use a white brush, and when it's a white mask, you want to use a black brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint that on her eyes. And you can always play around with the opacity if it comes on a little bit too strong, or if it's not strong enough, just hit Command J and it will duplicate the layer for you. I need to back out to see if it's too strong, and I like how it looks, so I'm going to leave it at 100% opacity. This is the before and after. And I'm going to go ahead and go into Storyville Rosy Cheeks and Lips. Open this up, and I'm going to go to the Vibrant Coral, soft white brush, 100% opacity, and I'm just going to go ahead and click it on her cheeks. And then I'm going to turn it down quite a bit. About 21% looks good to me, and you can also kind of just highlight the lip. There's a bunch of different colors you can choose, and you can even do your cheeks one color and the lips the next, or the lips another color. So that's the before and after. And now I want to come back into my actions, and I am going to choose the Ultimate Dodge and Burn, and hit play, open this up, and I want to first work on her clothing. So I'm going to go into the Dodge and Burn clothing and open that up. And I'm going to select the Dodge and Burn combo. This dodges and burns at the same time. I just absolutely love it. So I'm going to just use this on her skirt. And I'm going to do it really quick, guys. If you're doing this for someone, then go ahead and take your time because you don't want halos on the outside and you don't want to miss anything. And then you can play with the opacity. You can turn it up if you want or leave it down. Now, I'm sure that you noticed as I applied this, the color of our skirt changed. I like it, but if you don't want the colors to change or like the saturation to increase, and you just want it focused on brightening and darkening spots of your image, all you have to do is go to the blending mode, and it's actually out of sight for you guys, but if you go all the way to the bottom, there's a luminosity option, and that will not affect the saturation or the color of your whatever you are working with. So yeah, but I like how it turned this pretty orange, so I'm going to keep it on that. And then I want to burn her shirt a little, so I'm just going to go ahead and run that over her shirt. And that looks good to me. So that's the before and after. It makes such a huge difference in my opinion, and I just love it. Now I'm going to go into the Dodge and Burn Hair and Skin and click on Dodge 1. And then I'm going to run it over her face and her hair, and it's coming on strong, guys, but we're going to dial it back. So I like to go from 0 and just kind of work my way up to where I like it. And that looks good to me. So that's the before and after. And the rest of her skin looks good. I feel like it matches pretty well now. Maybe turn it down just a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to come over here to the environment, and I want to darken the wood here and surrounding her. So I'm going to go into the extra burn and take the soft white brush at 100% opacity and paint on. And again, I would take a lot of time making sure it's not going to be running over her skin, her shoes, all the works. But again, I'm not going to bore you guys because I can get really very perfectionist over it. So, and I want it a little bit darker, so all I need to do is copy it. So Command J, and that looks good to me. Now, as you can see, there is halos like crazy because I didn't spend the time to really focus in on that, but you will want to, of course. So, closing that back up, all together, before and after. And I think I might want to brighten her shirt up a little bit now that I have it like pulled back. So I'm going to go into the extra dodge, and we can always play around with the opacity too. Okay, that looks better to me. Now I'm going to flatten it, layer and flatten. And now I'm going to run the smoothing and sharpening action. So I'm going to come over here to my actions panel and select step 1, smoothing, hit play. And I'm going to dial it way down and just kind of increase till I like it. And I just love how it softens the image. I really, really do. And then I'm going to go over to the sharpening. And this will bring back some of the details. While we softened it, we also lost some of the details of our image. So this helps sharpen those back up. And again, I'm going to crank it down and just kind of work my way up to where I like it. And that looks good to me. So I think that about does it, guys. This is where we started, and this is where we finished. So before and after. You can find everything I used here at www.storyvillephotography.com. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.